Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and welcome to a very awesome episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator as I finally get to show you guys a pre-release version of the SimWorks Studio PC-12. The PC-12, much like the TBM 850, is a turboprop aircraft. We have two different variants. We have the 4-bladed and the 5-bladed, as well as both the luxury, if you will, or executive edition, as well as cargo variants of this aircraft. This aircraft is a very extremely detailed aircraft, dare I say study level version of the release, with many more features and updates coming to the aircraft as new information comes along down the line and the aircraft continues to be updated. The aircraft has not yet been released, but you guys, I can promise you when I say it will be released soon, I mean soon. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to be doing today is obviously going over the exterior and interior modeling of the aircraft, showing off some of the really fun features that they've included with this particular bird, as well as walking through the startup process. We're going to go all the way through the engine start process and get the aircraft ready for taxi. Since we have time before the aircraft is released, I'm going to be doing a series of tutorial videos for this aircraft, walking through all of the different stages of flight. That way, when the aircraft is finally released, you will have everything you need here on the channel to launch a successful flight in the PC-12. The PC-12 sports a number of awesome features within inside the cabin, such as the GTN 750 integration with both PMS and TDS, as well as the GNS 530 working with working title. It also has the very awesome SimEFB integration, which we'll be showing you guys here inside, or excuse me, Sky for Sim EFB. I don't know what the heck I was saying. Sky for Sim EFB integrated directly into the tablet in the cockpit. The tablet will later have more features that will be coming down the road, and we'll be talking about more of that as we continue on with the series of aircraft. I've also been promising you guys another Overkill's tutorial PDF guide. This is the aircraft that it will be sporting. I will not be releasing the tutorial guide until the aircraft itself releases to the public. However, it is in development, and again, that will be completely available to you guys on the day of release. So you guys will be able to grab that from my Patreon site if you guys are interested and have a fully detailed guide walking you through cold and dark startup to cold and dark shutdown. Details on the location of that guide will come later on as we get further through the tutorial series. Today, my goal is to simply show off the absolutely amazing work that the phenomenal team over at SimWorks Studios has done with this aircraft. It has been a great pleasure to see this aircraft grow and the development process change. I have seen everything from the texturing to the sounds to the modeling of the aircraft change as time has gone on. This team has been extremely focused on making sure that when they release the aircraft that they do it right. We had a similar conversation on their Discord a few days ago where we discussed the fact that, yes, us content creators are very excited to be able to showcase this aircraft, but that was not going to happen until the aircraft was actually ready for showcase. And they believe that any remaining issues can be resolved along the way and that the aircraft is ready for your eyes. This is a super, super exciting time for a great many of us. Again, congratulations to SimWorks Studios and their team for a very, very awesome product. Without any further delay, let's go ahead and jump inside the aircraft and start talking about some of the cool stuff about it. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkill's tutorial guides from Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. All right, dawned on me that I just said let's jump inside the aircraft. Let's take a closer look at some of the things that are outside. First off, you can see all the modeling and the things that have been done with the reds. All of the covers and flags that are now waving in the wind, the detail that's been put into the chrome work and the lighting and all of the rivets and the hatch points. They've really done a phenomenal job with the aircraft. Now, mind you, again, I want to make it very, very clear, guys, as we're going through this. This is a pre-release version of the aircraft. Any texture oddities, any bugs, anything that we run into will be addressed prior to it getting into your hands. Again, pre-release. This aircraft is not complete. It's just in a position where the company felt safe showing it to you guys. Felt good, I should say, about showing it to you guys. But look at all the detail, all the joints of all the flight control surfaces, all the details. Look at all the rivets that are going down the side of the aircraft here. They've really done a hell of a job making sure that they get everything right and everything where it belongs. We're going to be talking about some of these other cool features as the video series is, yes, plural, moves forward. But you guys can see the amazing attention that they've given to this aircraft. I really love the coloring and the different models that they have included with it. It comes with multiple different variants, like I said, multiple different liveries for your enjoyment of the aircraft. Now, let's go ahead and step inside the cabin so you guys can see where all the magic happened. Okay, so now that we're inside the aircraft, let's go ahead and close up the door. Notice you have all your pressurization and latch indicators. So now we know the aircraft's set. And we're just sort of going to start, I think, from the back and work our way forward here. So let's come on back here. There are a couple of issues with the passengers that you guys will probably notice. I can tell you right now that the devs are aware of it and have already stated that it will be addressed. At the very end of the video, I'm going to talk about what the changelog is looking like moving forward. So if you guys stick around till then, you guys will hear about all the issues that are already known and things that are already going to be done. So first off, one of the really awesome things is the little features like this. In any aircraft that I've ever shown off, you guys, everything from the A2A Comanche all the way back to things like the Mixed Mugs TBM 930 mod. I love the little features, lights, doors, things like that. Now, one of the really cool things that we have here, if we go to our weights and balances menu and add a little bit of payload, we get a net, we get cargo, you get the cargo light, right? So little features like that, that again, bring the cockpit and the cabin to life. Now, moving over here to the seats, you can see that the passengers are animated. Now, there's a couple of issues with the animation. For example, let's talk about issue number 1. We can see the twitchy redhead over there. No, she's not having an anxiety attack. This is real, and they are going to fix her. She will be fixed, I promise. They are going to fix her. So that is something that the devs are aware of. The chairs are fully animated. Everything from rotating in and out to the armrests. Let's get her out of my way. And that goes for all of the seats moving forward. This switch here actually actuates something out here. And we're going to be talking about that later on in a different series when we get further detail on that. And I can better showcase that kind of behavior. Next thing that I really enjoy about this particular cabin, all of the window blinds are fully functional. You can literally dim the cockpit down, or the cabin down if you choose, not the cockpit. Okay. Tables are fully functional. Again, if that's something that you guys enjoy, I enjoy this kind of stuff. Yes, I literally do go through on many of my videos before I start recording and just sort of set up the cabin on aircraft that support it and sort of just give it a little bit more life. And these guys over at SimWorks Studios has made that much, much easier by bringing us animation. Now, if you want to get rid of everybody, all right, you know what? I'm really tired. You guys are getting way too noisy back here. Get out of here. Simply set your payload down, and then you can adjust each seat one by one or just cargo load. So you have the option to independently set the aircraft how you choose. Moving forward here, if you guys are deciding to play a flight attendant today, or maybe just one of the passengers, you're doing some recording, maybe hanging out in VR and replaying one of your old flights, feel free, guys, to reach into the cabinets here. Oh, if I can get my angle right. There we go. Grab yourself a bottle of water. Maybe a stiffer drink. Oh, helps when I go the right way. That's what I was doing. So down or up. Maybe you want a little treat. Another magazine. Maybe these ones that they have aren't the version you want. Or maybe, you know, guys, sometimes when you're up in a plane, as much as we all don't like to, you got to do your business. So if that happens, let's get you some privacy. Maybe a mirror to touch up those hairlines after you've done your business. Maybe you want to shout out to somebody, a family member, hey, bring me something, you know. Very, very awesome stuff. And to many of you, I know, and these are all features that you probably won't use on an everyday basis, maybe if that's not your style. But it's the attention to detail that we're looking at here, guys. It's the fact that they went above and beyond just throwing an aircraft out to us. They're really pushing hard to make sure the aircraft is truly ready for flight. So let's move into the cockpit here, the flight deck. And you guys can see all the detail. Look at all the shading, the reflections, the lighting aspects. Yes, those are window shades. We're going to deal with those in just a minute. The overhead panel. All the circuit breakers are functional. So again, just like many of the other aircraft, you will need to make sure that you're following your checklist as you move through the aircraft. You will need to make sure that you're verifying that things are exactly how they should be, or it may surprise you later on. Let's go ahead and move into our seat. And let's start working through our checklist, guys. Now, again, today the objective here is to show you through the engine start process. We're going to get all the way to a taxi point, okay? Now, all of my videos, guys, now I will showcase them, but all of my videos are primarily going to be focused around the GNS 530, and here's the reason why. Just like I did with the TBM 850 guide, I wanted to use something that every person who purchased this amazing aircraft would be able to use without having a secondary purchase, such as the TDS or the PMS 50. Now, the PMS 50 GTN 750, guys, just so you know, there is a freeware version. It's just a bit more limited. It doesn't have as many features as the PAware version. And for those of you who also don't know, PMS also has the ability to either A, do a yearly purchase of the GTN 750, or you can do a lifelong purchase. Okay, obviously subscription-based purchases support their product further, gives them a bit more resilience, lets us know that people are going to be back, right? But certainly you have the option to buy it outright as well. So, wanted you guys to be aware that those options are all there if you want to be able to experience the aircraft in its fullest. Okay, so first off, one of the things that we want to talk about, obviously, is your point of view indicator. The objective here, if I remember correctly, is you should be sitting in a position, this is a little hard to do with the keyboard, should be sitting in a position at a height and both lateral position where the white covers the right side blue. And if you're sitting in the first officer seat, it should be the opposite direction, right? So let's go ahead and clear the wind shade. There we go. Let's rotate our window visor up. Let's get some fresh air going in here. Okay, make sure you got your drink ready for the flight. Okay, and then to use the tablet, when we get Sky for Sim up and ready, we'll showcase that in another video, but if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link down in the description showcasing Sky for Sim. Bring the tablet up, bring the tablet down. All of your information will be right there and ready. I highly recommend you guys check out my video that I'm going to link about Sky for Sim so you guys can see all the features. It is a really awesome EFB that allows you to do a lot. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into the pre-flight checklist. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get after it. So, let's see here. We want to make sure that doors are latched and sealed. We already did that. We want to make sure our fire extinguisher, which sits right behind the seat, I don't know if you guys saw it a minute ago. There it is. Want to make sure it is good or present and charged. We want to make sure our parking brake is set. There's the parking brake right there. Make sure that the master power switch is on and guarded. External power is off. Let's come up here. External power is off. Batteries 1 and 2 are off, and Gen 1 and 2 are off. Avionics 1 and 2 are off. Non-ESS override bus is set to the auto. Standby bus, we can go ahead and flip that on. External lights are all off. Let's go ahead and flip that off. I left that on previously. Fuel pumps are set to auto. Ignition is set to auto. De-icing switches are all off. Inertial separator is off. Heating and cooling systems are all off. Passenger warning signs are off as well. Circuit breakers. You got 2 panels, one on the left, one on the right. Now, to spare you guys the pain there, I went ahead and checked that for you. Why do we have an avionics switch up? That's interesting. Oh, it's because we have the... Never mind. Standby batteries on. Never mind. We're good. Moving down. Anyways, let's keep on moving through. All right, now coming down to the mic mask switch. That's this little guy right down here. We want to make sure it is down in the mic position. The FS composite switch. We want to make sure that that is in the, or excuse me, the FS switch is in the norm position and not composite. The AHRS 1 and 2, we want to make sure are both set to slave. Landing gear handle is down. ECS, environmental control system, is in the off position. Cabin pressure would be set to auto and guarded. We would normally set our cruise altitude to 500, or excuse me, our cabin pressure to 500 feet above our cruise altitude. Our trim interrupt and flap interrupt switches should be norm and guarded. Moving back just a little bit here. Come on, X. There we go. Manual override should be in the far rear position, and for the off position, the power control lever, or PCL, should be at the idle detent. Condition lever should be at cutoff. Flaps should be retracted at 0%. And external lights at the moment, well, internal and external instrument lights, excuse me, should all be in the off position. Sorry, these are the instrument lights, not external. Don't know why I said that. Ignore me. Just that part, though, because the rest of it's pretty handy. Anyway, the fuel shutoff lever, emergency fuel shutoff lever should be pushed in and stowed. The hydraulic hand pump should be stowed as well. And the environmental control emergency shutoff should be stowed. All right. So now let's go again to the pre-flight before start checklist, if you guys will. We're going to start by removing the control lock there. Now let's move up top, and we're going to turn batteries 1 and 2 on, starting with battery 2. Making sure that we have 24 volts on each side as we flip them on, and that maintains. Stepping on down, landing gear lights, we should have 3 green. Fuel reset button. So we're actually going to do a couple different things here. So moving forward, we want to do the test of the electronic instruments or electronic instrument system. Hit test. Make sure all gauges peak, all digits illuminate, you don't see any dead zones, any lights that are out, etc. And then notice that we don't have any fuel on board. We want to make sure that we hit the fuel reset because the aircraft actually is fueled. Okay, there we go. Now our fuel indicates. This is all part of the normal startup procedures, guys, so we want to do this on every flight, so pay close attention. Clearing those just cuz. All right, and let's see where we are here. Make sure the fuel contents are equal on the left and right side. That's our gauge right there. We do have equalization. Now we're going to come up top, left and right fuel pumps. We're going to put left-hand pumps, and you can hear them. Notice how the sound changed based on which side it was on, guys. So freaking cool. Okay, then coming down, we want to make sure ignition goes to auto or on. Notice the amperage change. Back to auto. All right, let's step on downstairs. Make sure we have oxygen pressure for the flight. You never want to be above 1850. 1850 is the max PSI. So you want to make sure that you have enough for your flight, but that you're not over 1850. Oxygen lever to the on position. All right, make sure our pilot window vent, this guy right here, is closed and latched. Nav lights on, beacon lights on. It's almost time. So now let's get into the pre-flight engine start. All right, so the fuel quantity check, we've already verified the EIS test system. We also did as well, making sure all gauges will work. Fire test, we're going to come up here, depress the fire test switch, make sure that we have a engine fire and a fire detect light here on the annunciator panel. Come back upstairs, turn that fire test off, do a lamp test. Make sure all lights illuminate. Should look like a Christmas tree in here, right? Okay. Come upstairs. Lamp test off. All right, let's keep moving through here. Now's where this gets nice and fun here. I'm going to make sure that I have everything that I need. Bear with me for just a moment. The starter's starting. Looking for her to stabilize at about 20% NG once she does. Condition lever to the low idle position, or ground idle, excuse me. Want to watch for a hot start on the gauges. We do not want to be above 1,000 degrees for 5 seconds, and we want to be don't want to be above 800 degrees for more than 20 seconds. NG should be stabilized right around 60, 65. All right, let's come upstairs, turn our generators on. Gen 2 on first, then Gen 1. Oops, I didn't mean to hit the reset. Avionics 1 and 2. Standby bus can now go to the off position. Now all of our de-icing for whatever. Oh, the lamp test. That's what was happening. I thought I turned it off. You guys watch me. I pushed the button. I promise. I did. I did. I'm telling you. I'm being set up here. All right. I don't even care, guys. I love this airplane. If I make a mistake or two, forgive me. Trust me. I am super excited to show this to you guys. Absolutely. I've been waiting so long to show this aircraft to you guys. They've done such an awesome job. All right. So now let's start getting into some of the other stuff here. So radios you would set as desired, right? Get anything that you need. And you guys saw that with the standby bus on, that the RAID-COM 1 came to life, right? So whatever is in this position will come to life with the standby bus. That enables you to use the radio to get engine start clearance if you're at a location that requires it, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and start moving forward here. And let's see here, ES or ECS switch. There it is. We want to move to the auto position. Temperature you would set as required. Cooling systems you'd set as required. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and turn the system on. That works for me. Now, no smoking signs come on. Seatbelt signs. If the aircraft, you've got your engine start, so I would really hope that you're done being fueled by this point. Seatbelt signs can come on as well. Inertial separator. Okay. If you are on an unprepared surface where icing conditions exist, the inertial separator would come on. I like to turn it on for taxi. Every aircraft that I know uses it for taxi just in the event that it sucks up a rock. Now we're out at Key West. There's a dirt siding on both sides, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, right? I don't know why the propeller icing is on. It doesn't need to be. That was kind of weird. Anyway, stepping down. I must have bumped it when I was up there. Okay, so coming back down through this thing. And the final part of the startup process, guys, is if you look down here, we have an annunciator for the pusher test. Pusher, stall warning test, etc. Okay? So now this is going to be the last thing that I show you guys, and I highly recommend that you guys focus on this part very, very closely, because if you don't do this part right in the correct order with the correct steps, you're going to have beeping and alarms and things going off at you, and you're not going to understand why. So again, they've done a fantastic job with modeling all of the behavior that's required for this aircraft, okay? So let's go ahead and move into the pusher test. I'm going to go ahead and clear that. All right, so as we get into the before taxi, we verify again our AHRS. I'm going to clear this. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Go! We're going to make sure our AHRS are both in the slave position and turned on. Obviously, we have them here. Everything's looking good. We don't have any flags. We don't have any warnings. Okay, let's bring that back up. You're going to want the yoke up for a second. Okay? If you're like me and you like to hide it so that way everybody can see everything, this will be a pain in the butt if you don't pay attention. All right, so step 1, flaps 15. Okay, this is part of the process. Okay, flaps coming down. We're going to look up here, verify we get 15 degrees of flaps. All right, so we've got our flaps 15. Let's continue on with the rest of the process. Sorry, guys, I had a phone call that interrupted me for a minute. All right, and let's see where we at here. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our power lever, okay, PCL, and we're going to be looking for between 5 and 10%, or 5 to 10 psi on our torque. So here we go. Now when it gets to 5, it's going to sit there for a minute. Actually, there we go, 5.5. Adding a bit more. Listen to those sounds. There we go. Didn't mean to turn that off again. I have a really bad habit with that. Okay, and now we're going to come upstairs. Make sure my, yep, good. We're going to select the pusher. Now we're going to be pulling back. We're pushing and holding, okay, for the pusher switch. Set the power lever to idle. While holding, okay, we should be holding the pusher switch. Okay, we're pulling on the control wheel. check that the cause pusher ice mode advisory is on. That's what this green light is here. All right. So we verified the operation. Now we're going to do the pusher interrupt switch. This is this guy right here. Press that. Release. Turn the pusher off. And release the button. And the annunciator panel is now clear. All right, you guys, and that concludes the startup checklist for the PC-12 from SimWorks Studios. I am so happy to be sharing all of this with you guys. I cannot wait to show you guys even more about this aircraft. There will be videos coming out very, very rapidly, you guys. Again, the next one we will talk about taxi, takeoff, and getting up to climb, to cruise. And we'll be going through everything step by step, as well as the flight plan entry, which is why I'm breaking these up. Otherwise, these videos get so long, I feel like a lot of information gets lost in them. I know this was already a pretty long one. So I hope you guys are just as excited for this aircraft as I am. It's been a super, super honor to be a part of this project. SimWorks Studios, once again, thank you guys so much. You guys, don't forget, there will be a full PDF tutorial guide walking you guys through everything, a full flight from a cold and dark startup to a cold and dark shutdown destination. A tutorial guide that will be available if you guys are interested in supporting those projects, and those and all of my other guides. You guys know where to find them over on Patreon. As always, my friends, stay safe and healthy. Stay tuned for the next one. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe, guys, and ring that bell so you get notified when the next video comes out. Take care, guys.